tampered with. So we are a people like that. We are people that never had a divine messenger to us until the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was raised up in our midst. So we want to deal with Surah 2, or chapter 2, ayat 183. Because this ayat deals with fasting, and it deals with the month of Ramadan, the month that we have entered. And Allah has said in the Quran, "O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may guard against evil." Let's look at that. Allah says, "O you who believe," talking to the believers, those who believe in that which He has revealed, those who said that they're following God and the Prophet. Fasting is prescribed for you. Now, if something, the only thing that can be prescribed for a human being is medicine. When you go to the doctor, you're sick, you go to the doctor, you tell the doctor what your symptoms are, and then with his wisdom, he's able to diagnose whatever your ailment is. After he diagnoses whatever your ailment is, he gives you a prescription, he gives you a course of action to take to improve your condition. So Allah is giving us a course of action. Allah is giving us medicine, not only on the physical level to cleanse the physical body, but He's giving us medicine to clean the spiritual and the mental body. So it says, "O you who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may guard against evil." Joseph or Yusuf in the Holy Quran in chapter 12 is made to say these words: "Surely man's self is wont to command evil and indecency." What does that mean? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that man was created under the number 6. 6 means that he's incomplete, he's imperfect. He has a wawa in his nature as a human being. And this is what causes us, the brown germ and the black man, which causes us to lean towards things. Allah, who came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad, taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that the Caucasian was made through a genetic drafting process in order to expose to the original man the sin that was in him. So that we brought this made man, called the Caucasian, out of our genetic makeup. So if Allah allowed one of our brothers, Yaqub, to go into the black man, to go into the black woman, to abstract the germ, then the question becomes, why? Allah wanted what was in us to be fully exposed, so that we could see not only the madness that's running all over the world, where you see the Caucasian going all over the planet, has went all over the planet, killing the people, robbing the people, raping the people. Allah wants to show us, look, that you see that is detestable on the outside is in the inside. And so one of the methods that He has given us to check the evil that's in our own self, the evil that's in our own soul, is fasting. Let's talk about why He prescribed a particular method. We know that the human being has the potential to reflect God, and he has the potential to reflect the beast of the field, and he has the potential to reflect the devil. Now, if we look at the human brain, at the human brain, at the back of the brain, you have what is called the brain stem that leads to the spinal cord. This is the part of the brain where all of the primitive urges exist. This is the part of the brain that Sister Ava has taught us that is the reptilian brain. It's always looking for food, clothing, shelter, sex. And in order for us to reflect God, we have to be able to rise above our appetite. Our appetite to do what we know pleasing to Allah. And so this is why when we make our prayer, we take our right hand, which is a symbolic to strength, and we clasp our right hand over the left hand, which symbolizes our weakness, because most of us are right-handed. Most of us have our greatest strength in our right hand, and our weakest hand is the left hand. So we grab that which is strong to hold that which is weak, and we clasp it down on the navel or on the chest, because that's what our appetite for that which is against God originates. So we hold it down. And I'm saying this because I want us to be mindful when we make the prayer in a minute that everything we do physical has a spiritual significance too. Allah has not told us to do anything on a physical level that does not have a spiritual message in it that trains the mind, that trains the consciousness to be in obedience to God. Right. So Allah says in the Quran, surely prayer keeps one away from evil and indecency, and the remembrance of Allah is the greatest force. What does that mean? He talks about prayer in this particular ayah, or in this particular verse, or in this particular sign. Then he turns around and talks about the remembrance of Allah being the greatest force. What is the remembrance of Allah? The remembrance of Allah, we said in Arabic, we said thikkah. Remembrance of Allah, but it also means taqwa, which means God consciousness. God consciousness is, and when I get out of my prayer, I'm mindful of the prayer that I made. In my day-to-day walk, from one prayer to the next, I'm conscious of God's command. I'm conscious of what God's will is. And then I make sure that my actions, I make sure that my words, my deeds line up with what Allah has said is permissible. So prayer is a strong force. Well, there's a force that's far greater than prayer, and that force is taqwa, or being conscious of God at all times. So Allah has given fasting to us as a prescription so we may guard against evil.